There are stories that inspire, there are stories that warn, and there are stories that shape history. Before laws were written on stone, before seas were divided by a raised staff, before a nation learned how to walk with God, there was a child who should not have survived, a baby born under a death sentence, a life hunted by power, a destiny hidden in a river. This is the story of Moses. If stories like this strengthen your faith, open your eyes to Scripture, and remind you that God still works through ordinary lives, then take a moment to subscribe. You're not just supporting a channel, you're joining a journey through the greatest stories ever told. Now, let's go deeper into the story. Israel had not always been slaves in Egypt. Once, they were honored guests. But favor faded with time. A new Pharaoh rose, one who did not remember Joseph and did not care about the God of Israel. He looked at the growing Hebrew population and saw a threat. Not warriors, not weapons, but numbers. Fear gave birth to cruelty. As the Bible states in Exodus 1:10, "Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and in the event of war, they join our enemies and fight against us." At first, Pharaoh oppressed them with hard labor, brick by brick, whip by whip. But the more they were afflicted, the more they multiplied. That's when Pharaoh made a darker decision. Every Hebrew son was to die. The Nile River, once a source of life, was turned into an instrument of death. Exodus 1:22. In the middle of this terror, a child was born to a Levite family. For 3 months, his mother hid him. Every cry was a risk. Every breath was danger. Exodus 2:2-3. But when hiding was no longer possible, she refused to surrender him to fear. She prepared a small basket, sealed it carefully, placed her son inside, not as an act of despair, but of trust. She placed the basket among the reeds of the Nile, while his sister watched from a distance. The river that was meant to kill him became the path that carried him toward destiny. Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe. She noticed the basket. She opened it. The baby cried. And something happened that Pharaoh never expected. Compassion. She knew he was a Hebrew child. She knew the law, yet her heart moved before her fear could speak. At that moment, history shifted. The child condemned by the king was adopted into the king's house. And in a quiet twist of divine irony, his own mother was chosen to nurse him. Moses was raised in the palace, trained in Egyptian wisdom, educated in power, language, and leadership. Yet inside him flowed Hebrew blood, and a calling he could not yet name. Acts 7:22. As Moses grew older, the comfort of the palace could no longer silence the cries of his people. He saw their suffering. He felt their pain. And one day it boiled over. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. He looked around. No one was watching. In anger or in misplaced zeal, he struck the Egyptian and killed him. The next day, Moses realized something painful. The people he wanted to defend did not trust him, and the palace he lived in was no longer safe. Pharaoh heard, and Pharaoh wanted him dead. So Moses ran, Exodus 2:15, from royal halls to open desert. From privilege to survival, from influence to anonymity, Moses fled to Midian. There, he helped the daughters of a priest, was welcomed into their family, and married Zipporah. He became a shepherd, day after day, step after step, watching sheep instead of commanding men. 40 years passed. The fire of youth faded into quiet endurance, but heaven was not silent. One ordinary day, while tending sheep near Mount Horeb, Moses saw something unusual. A bush was on fire, yet it was not consumed. As he turned aside to look, a voice called his name, Exodus 3:4. The ground beneath him became holy. The air became heavy with purpose. God spoke of suffering. God spoke of deliverance. God spoke of Egypt. And then God said something that shook Moses to his core. "I am sending you," Exodus 3:10. Moses questioned himself. He questioned the people. He questioned his own ability, but God did not change the plan. God revealed his name, Exodus 3:14. God revealed his power. God revealed that this mission was never about Moses alone. "I will be with you." And with that promise, the shepherd's quiet life came to an end. Moses left the wilderness, carrying more than a staff. He carried a calling, a confrontation. a destiny that would shake Egypt. Pharaoh was about to meet a man he thought was gone forever, and Egypt was about to learn that the God of Israel does not forget his people. Moses stepped into Egypt, not as a prince or fugitive, but as the chosen messenger of God. He went first to the elders of Israel. They looked at him with doubt and wonder. Some whispered, "Is this the one who will save us?" Others feared Pharaoh's wrath. Moses spoke with authority, yet humility. He told them of God's promise. "We will be delivered. Our cries have reached the heavens. God has not forgotten us." As the Bible states in Exodus 3:7-8, the Lord said, "I have surely seen the affliction of my people in Egypt. I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians." The people listened, some hopeful, some skeptical. Faith had to be rekindled after generations of slavery. Then Moses approached Pharaoh. The palace, once his home, now felt like a cage filled with arrogance and pride. "I am the Lord's servant," Moses said. "Let my people go so they may worship their God." Exodus 5:1. Pharaoh's laugh was cold. "Who is this God?" he sneered. "I will not let Israel go." And so began the struggle between stubborn pride and divine purpose. Plague followed plague, each one more terrifying than the last. Rivers turned to blood. Exodus 7:20-21. Frogs invaded homes. Exodus 8:6. Gnats swarmed the streets. Exodus 8:17. Swarms of flies, boils, hail, and darkness, each a reminder Egypt was not in control. Yet Pharaoh's heart remained hardened. Exodus 7:13. With every warning, his pride grew. With every miracle, the tension mounted. The Egyptians suffered, the Israelites watched, and Moses prayed. Finally came the last plague, the one that would break Pharaoh's heart. The firstborn sons of Egypt were struck. The homes of Israel, marked by the blood of the Lamb, were spared. Exodus 12:13. Pharaoh's arrogance shattered, and he finally said, "Go, leave my people." And they did. The Israelites moved quickly, carrying what they could. Moses led them out of Egypt, the weight of generations of oppression pressing on their hearts. But freedom did not mean safety. Pharaoh changed his mind, sending chariots and soldiers in pursuit. The Israelites reached the Red Sea. Fear rose like a tidal wave. There was nowhere to run. The army was close. The end seemed certain. Moses lifted his staff. God's power surged. The waters parted. Exodus 14:21-22. Walls of water rose like mountains on either side. The Israelites crossed on dry land, hearts pounding, eyes wide, faith trembling. Behind them, the Egyptian army pursued. And when they were in the middle of the path, the waters returned. The chariots, the soldiers, the pride of Egypt, gone. The people of Israel were free. Exodus 14:28-29. But the journey had just begun. The wilderness was harsh. The sun burned, the nights were cold, and the path was long. Water was scarce. Hunger gnawed at the travelers. Fear and doubt whispered among them. Yet God's provision was constant. Manna appeared in the morning. Exodus 16:15. Quail in the evening. Exodus 16:13. Water from a rock. Exodus 17:6. Each miracle a test of faith, patience, and obedience. Moses led with wisdom, courage, and prayer. He mediated disputes, reminded them of God's promises, and carried the heavy burden of guiding a people who often doubted, complained, or rebelled. Battles came. Amalekites attacked. Moses raised his hands in prayer, and victory came when he did not falter. Exodus 17:11-13. Then came Mount Sinai. Thunder roared, lightning flashed, smoke covered the mountain, and the voice of God spoke. Exodus 19:16-19. Moses ascended. 40 days and 40 nights he stayed, receiving the laws that would shape a nation. Exodus 24:18, 31:18. Meanwhile, below, the people faltered. They crafted a golden calf. Exodus 32:1-4. They celebrated what was forbidden. Moses came down. Anger, grief, and disappointment met him. But he interceded, pleading with God to forgive them. And forgiveness came. Exodus 32:11-14. Moses' life in the wilderness was long, full of challenges, trials, and lessons. Every step, every hardship, every miracle prepared a people to inherit the land God had promised. And in the end, Moses climbed Mount Nebo. As the journey continued, Moses reminded them constantly of their mission, their covenant and their purpose. Every obstacle, the hunger, the thirst, the enemies, was a lesson. Every miracle was a reminder. The Lord's power sustains the faithful. Years passed, generations grew. The children of those who had left Egypt were now adults, ready to inherit the promised land. Moses, faithful to the end, climbed Mount Nebo. From its peak, he could see the land flowing with milk and honey. The rivers, the hills, the valleys, all awaited the people of Israel. He would not enter, but his eyes beheld the fulfillment of God's promise. He blessed the tribes, spoke words of wisdom, and prayed for their strength and faithfulness. He reminded them to obey God, to remember his miracles, and to continue trusting his guidance. And then, quietly, Moses' journey ended. He passed from the world, leaving behind a nation transformed, a covenant established, and a legacy that would echo through history. Through Moses, the world learned that God works through the ordinary, through shepherds, slaves, and the humble, through doubt, struggle, and perseverance. His story is a testament to faith, courage, and obedience. From the banks of the Nile to the heights of Sinai, from the wilderness to the edge of the promised land, Moses' life reminds every generation, God does not forget his people. He delivers, he leads, he fulfills his promises. And so the people move forward, carrying the lessons of their journey, the words of their lawgiver, and the memory of a shepherd who trusted God beyond the impossible. Moses' story ends, but its voice still calls across time. Faithful obedience, courage in adversity, and trust in God's plan can shape history and transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. If this story of Moses has inspired you, reminded you of God's faithfulness, or shown you that ordinary lives can do extraordinary things, then don't just listen, join us on this journey. Subscribe to the channel and be part of a community that explores the greatest stories ever told. Every like, every share, every comment helps us continue bringing these stories to life. And we want to hear from you. Which moment in Moses' life touched you the most? Which lesson will you carry into your own journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every word, and your voice matters. Together, let's dive into Scripture, strengthen our faith, and discover how God moves through ordinary people, just like he moved through Moses.